Hey everyone, welcome back to Dazzling Diamonds Boutique. Today I wanted to start a series for you guys. So I'm going to show you guys how I designed this complete set. So I'm going to show you the onesie, the detachable ribbon trim socks, the tutu, as well as the shoes. But in today's video, I wanted to go ahead and start with the tennis shoes. So these are some Converse and the customer did provide the shoes. This is how they're going to look. If you guys are interested in seeing how I designed it, stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so I wanted to start with showing you everything that I'm going to be using. So this is the onesie, and I went ahead and cut out the design. Next, I have my tool that is on the bolt, my Project Runway sewing machine, and then I have some coordinating thread as well as 7/8 and 1/2 inch green glitter ribbon. One is going to be for the twill socks and the other one is going to be for the tutu. Here's the design for the shoes printed on printable vinyl, and here are the shoes that I'm going to be using. There's some little Converse. They're so cute. So the customer did provide these, like I said before, but normally I do provide them when the customers order them. Here's the rhinestones that I'm going to be using. And I may not use all of these, but I just have them out. But really quickly, before we jump into the shoe tutorial, I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to be making the onesie. And with this particular design, because I'm going to be making it with 4 different colors of vinyl, I did create it with an offset for the name just because I wanted to make sure that each part of my vinyl adheres to the garment. And you are more than welcome to do it without the offset, but I just wanted to make sure that my design lasts as long as possible. So that's the reason why I did it like that. But all I do is layer all my 3 colors, and then I'll lay the black on top because that's going to be the final piece. And the onesie is actually one of the quickest pieces to this set. It took me about 10 minutes to knock this out. That's the reason why I decided to go ahead and knock this part out first. But let's go ahead and jump into the shoes. So this is how the shoes look straight out the box. And I went ahead and cut out the watermelon and vinyl because I did not like the way that my machine was cutting the printable vinyl. So I just went ahead and cut it out in different colors. And then I have her name here and the little pieces for the watermelon. So it's 4 different pieces of vinyl that I'm going to be using. The other supplies that I'm going to be using is my pick-me-up tool that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. And then I also have some clear rhinestones as well as some pink rhinestones. The official name of these stones is Fuchsia, and they are in the size SS10. And I will be using SS10 for the clear and the pink as well. And I also will be throwing in a few SS7s if I need to. And then I have my E6000 glue that I always use for rhinestone shoes. And then I also have my heat resistant foam that I'm going to be placing inside the shoe as well as a protective sheet. And then I will be also using some green emerald stones in the size SS10 as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the laces from the shoe. And before I bling out the toe, I want to go ahead and add the design to the shoe first. So I'm going to go ahead and place my foam insert on the inside of the shoe just to give me kind of a firm surface. And I try to double it up to that way my finger can fit on the inside and I don't really feel the heat. And I will be using my iron to put this on. But I'm just laying it out, trying to see where it's going to lay first. So the pink part of the watermelon is going to be my base layer. So I'm going to go ahead and iron that part on first. And then I'll move on to the other parts. Now you guys will see me alternate in between using my cover sheet and not using my cover sheet, and that's only because sometimes it does adhere better without the cover sheet on there. So it really just depends. But if you do try to iron on a design without the cover sheet, just make sure you don't leave the iron on there too long. So I'm just going to go ahead and line up my outline to the watermelon with my green glitter vinyl. And once I get it where I want it, I'm going to iron this part on as well. And I do feel like the glitter vinyl was a lot easier to adhere than the plain vinyl. But now I'm just going ahead and pressing on the seeds to the watermelon. And I did cut this out with the black Easy Weave vinyl. And then I have the name, and I did cut this out in black glitter. And this is the last piece that I'm going to be ironing on. And once I have everything ironed on, I'm going to go ahead and remove my transfer sheet, put my cover sheet back on, and iron the whole thing one last time just to make sure it's really adhered. And a way that you can tell that your design is really adhered is you will be able to see a little bit of the texture from the fabric underneath your vinyl. And now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and apply the same design to the other shoe. Okay, so now that we have all of our designs placed onto the shoe, we are ready to start blinging out the toe. Let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like with the vinyl on there. And then I did go ahead and add hearts on the inside. That way it's just not completely empty on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and start with one shoe at a time, and I get my sanding block and I'm going to go ahead and sand down the toe of the shoe. And I did pick the sanding block up at Dollar Tree for only $1.25, so it's very affordable. But the reason why I'm doing this is because I do want to rough up the texture a little bit. That way I'll make sure that I'm not applying my stones to a completely smooth surface. And after I'm done sanding down the shoe, I'm just going to go ahead and spray the toe of the shoe with my alcohol. And I went ahead and placed it in this little spray bottle. And after I do that, I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel. And now that we have our shoe ready to go, we are ready to start placing our rhinestones on it. So my glue of choice for placing rhinestones on shoes is E6000, and I always choose the clear transparent kind. And you can pick this up at any craft store. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and lay a thin line of my E6000 across the front of my shoe. I like to start at the front, but you are more than welcome to start at the top if you would like. I'm seeing a lot of people start from the top as well, but I just like to start around the rim. So I just do kind of like a little bit, and then I start placing my stones. So I just go ahead and pick up my first stone and place it on that thin line, and then I just continue to place my other stones along the same line. And then once I get to my stopping point where I ended my glue, I go ahead and add more glue, and then I just continue. It's pretty simple, you guys. Adding rhinestones is really a simple process. It's more time consuming than anything, but it's very easy to do. And I always play around with my shoe. So if I have a stone in there and I end up getting glue on it, or I feel like it doesn't look good, I'll go ahead and pull it off and replace that stone with another one. But I just continue to adjust my line as I'm going with the end of my tool just to make sure that it's straight. So one of the things that I love about this E6000 is the fact that it does take a while for the glue to cure. And as you guys can see with this E6000 glue, you're able to just move the stones around. So you can move them around if you feel like you want to create more space, or if you want to move them closer together. And that's what I really love about this. And I usually just use the tip of my pick-me-up tool to move it around. And it does take 24 hours to cure. So whenever I get done, I do need to let the shoe sit for 24 hours. I prefer to let it sit for 48 hours before I even give it to the customer or anything like that. And once I get my first line done, I'm going to go ahead and start on my second line. So for this particular pattern, I want to try to do like a watermelon pattern. So I'm going to do a green line first, a line of green stones, and then I'm going to do a line of clear stones, and then I'll probably mix the pink and the black just to kind of make it look like a watermelon. Okay, y'all, now I know somebody's going to say, well, didn't she just say she was going to use clear stones next? And I ended up using pink stones in this video. But you guys, even though I did that, I did go back and fix it later on because that's not the pattern that I was trying to go with. So in this video, I did go ahead and put pink stones on my second row, and I just filled it in with the black stones as I, you know, just every once in a while I will put black stones in between the pink stones just to make it look like the little seeds of the watermelon. But after I realized what I did go back and fix it later on, and you guys will see that in the end of the video. And I do apologize because I did feel like I was in the camera's view and I really wasn't. So I do apologize about the camera angle, but I'll just go ahead and zoom through this part for you guys because it's pretty much the same process. Okay, you guys, so I guess at some point I did realize that I wasn't at a good angle, so I did go ahead and fix that for you guys. So Again, I do apologize about that. But I went ahead and filled in that top row of the shoe. And now I'm just filling in this little gap. So I pretty much just do like basically the outline, and then I start filling in the little spaces. And for this part, if you need to use smaller stones, I would suggest using SS7 stones to kind of fill in the smaller gaps. But I didn't have any SS7 stones as far as the pink ones, so I did go ahead and just use the SS10 that I had. And one thing that I would like to mention is whenever you go to place your stones on a white shoe like this, especially like the pink stones and the black stones, you will be able to see the white part of the shoe underneath the stones, unless you go ahead and color the shoe underneath, the stones in the color stones that you're going to be using. So for instance, if I didn't want the white part showing on the tip of this shoe, I would suggest painting like the part that is going to have the pink stones on it. I would suggest painting that part pink, probably with some leather paint or something like that, and then placing your stones on top of that. But for this particular shoe, it is going to be for a 1-year-old, so it's not really that big of a deal if you do see the white underneath it. So that's why I went ahead and just left it that way, and I didn't color it. But if you do want to avoid that white part showing underneath the stones, I would suggest coloring the shoe before placing the stones on it. And you guys, I pretty much love blinging out anything because I feel like it's pretty much like relaxing and therapeutic at the same time, because you can really just like turn on some music and just really just go to town and bling out so many things. Okay, you guys, so I am all done placing the stones on this shoe, and this is how it looks. I think it came out really pretty. For the final step, I'm going to be using this watermelon printed ribbon in place of the laces. But that is it for this tutorial, you guys. That is how you customize some Converse with rhinestones, ribbon, and vinyl. I think these came out really cute. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I appreciate you guys staying to the end of this video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because I have a lot of tutorials dropping pretty soon. And I would love to have you guys added to the family. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.